Well, howdy folks, it's Matthew, your friendly neighborhood technician. We're moving forward on the Suzuki 2.5 liter Grand Vitara timing chain water pump job. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to set top dead center per the timing chain marks. Now you're going to have a lot of marks that we're going to have to look at and line up. Your first mark that you want to identify is going to be your keyway on your crankshaft. And then you also want to identify the marks on your cam gears. Now do not pay attention to the arrows. The arrows are not your timing marks. These notches right here, if you can see them in the video. Let me see if I can get this camera in here for you to see these notches. It'd be nice if it there you go. And so you got a notch there that you can see, and then you're gonna have another notch right here, okay? And then over here, you're gonna want to line everything up off of this notch right here. All right, so you're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you're also gonna have 2 marks on your dual overhead cam gears right here, 5 and 6. So you're going to have 6 marks all together that we're going to line up. Now, the best way to go ahead and do this is line everything up off of your crankshaft. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this engine over. And as I'm turning it, you can also see how everything's working. All right, so now that we're turning the engine over, I'm going to line my crankshaft keyway up, and this is going to be your timing mark right here that you're going to line your crankshaft keyway up on. But just because you line that up there doesn't mean you're where you need to be. You need to go ahead and double check your other timing marks, because you could actually be 180 degrees off. So if we look here, we've got our circle notch is pointing here, but our timing mark is actually pointing at 12 o'clock up top up here. We also don't see the marks that we need to be seeing that are going to be level with the cylinder head on our dual overhead cams. And our arrows are what are pointing, okay? So right now, even though we lined our keyway up, our marks are not where they are supposed to be at all. So that means that we are 180 degrees off on top dead center. So let's go ahead and turn it another full rotation. And now that we've turned it another full rotation, we've brought this back. Sorry about that, folks. My throat's getting a little jacked up there. So now that we've turned it a full rotation, we brought this mark lined up with our keyway with an oil porthole right here, basically. All right, now let's go and check our timing marks. Our timing mark on our intake camshaft is pointing straight down, and our other timing marks are basically at 4 o'clock and 7 o'clock. That is where you want those timing marks to be at once you line this up. Now then, we're going to go here, and if you look inside of here, you can see that we've got a timing mark there, and we've got a timing mark that's painted on this side, right down inside of there. It's hard to see with the camera here, but if you can see that little speck of orange, there you go. So now that we're lined up on the keyway right here with the keyway, we know that we're at TDC, and at this point we can go ahead and start taking off timing chains and all that other good stuff. Alright, so now that we've got the engine set and we feel comfortable, let's go ahead and start getting some of our guides removed, some of our timing chain guides and whatnot out of the way. That way we can start disassembling the timing. All right, now I'm going to pause it real quick because I want to go look at factory procedure for removing this front chain. Okay, so we're basically going to start off by removing our intake and exhaust, cam gears, and our tensioner. Everything you see here, we're going to remove as one all together. By first starting by loosening our tensioner, and then we'll go ahead and take our cam gears off. I'm going to do that by getting a wrench and holding my camshafts in place in order to get those off of there. Alright, let's go ahead and get to work here. I'm using 14mm socket to get my tensioner loose. Now, I'll be right back. I'm going to go grab a crescent wrench. And as you can see, I'm going to use a crescent wrench to hold my camshafts in place while I loosen them. Okay, and you're going to get on right here. Alright, you can see they gave you a spot here to grab onto. Here and here. Let's see if I can get in here and show you how this is going to work. Sounds like my air compressor's frozen. I need a new air compressor line anyways. That simple. Yeah, it's time for a new fitting on my gun there. So, we saw how that worked out. That was pretty simple there. And now we can go ahead and remove this first timing setup here. At this point, whatever you do, do not allow this engine to turn over. There you go. Now you've got your first part of your timing chain removed. Now you can work on removing everything else. And if you want to loosen your chain, your main chain, you can turn it counterclockwise. Now, if you just noticed, I did end up turning that engine just a hair. Don't, in all honesty, if you're doing timing and you accidentally move the engine a tooth or two, don't freak out. It's okay. On most interference engines, you're going to have at least 1 to 3 tooth clearance before you're going to have a problem. So it's happened to me before. I have had engines move a little bit while working on them. Just so long as you make sure everything is lined up accordingly when you start off. So now the next step to do is to go ahead and go down in here and let's get our timing guide rails on the driver's side out. These are going to be 10mm bolts. So go ahead and get this off, and then we're going to move to our idler, and we're going to get this off and just keep on moving forward here. All right, now for your timing idler, you're going to want to use a 5/16 hex head. All right, it's a 5/16 hex head. There we go. Well, I'm having some camera problems today, guys. Trying to get you guys set up so you can see everything good. Alright, now we're going to move forward to the other timing guides. Go find my 10mm socket. And again, just to ensure everything goes back where it's supposed to go, I'm just going to stick my bolts back where I got them out from. Okay, so we got our idler loose. We've got our other guide rail off and out. Now I'm going to work on the tensioner and guide rail here. First thing I'm going to do is get the tensioner out. That's going to be 10mm down here where you see me working. And again, I'm going to put my screws back, my bolts back where they go. Especially if I drop them. Clean them off and stick them back in there. Don't want to lose anything. All right. Now we're going to switch from our 10 millimeter, I believe, to a 12. Where's my 12? So with the timing, you want a 5/16 hex head bit, 10 and 12 and 14 millimeter sockets. You got that guide rail off now. And again, just to be safe, stick your bolts back where they go, back where you got them from. Now you can go ahead and pull off your idler as well. Oops, sorry guys, knocked the camera there. And you can remove your chain. And while we're here, let's go ahead and replace beautiful. And last, let's see, we have this cam gear that we need to get out. And in order to change this chain, you're going to have to remove your camshaft. So I'll make a separate video and show you how to do that one. But for the time being, let's go ahead and get this intake gear off. See if I can get the camera set up good for you guys again. Alright. And you'll do the same thing here. Take your wrench. there you have it. Now, you can also remove your water pump. Okay, you're going to have to drain the oil and change it because you are going to get coolant into the oil pan during this job. And then when you're done, go ahead and remove your crankshaft bolt out, pull your timing gear out, and there you have it, folks. That's how you break down the timing on the 2.5 liter and the 2.7 liter Suzuki engine. Now, this really is a goofy engine. If you ask me, it's kind of like a oversized motorcycle engine, so I find it very interesting. Well, folks, thanks for coming out and hanging out and watching me. This is Matthew, your friendly neighborhood technician. If you have any questions, shoot them to me. I'll get back to you. I am signing off.